This episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey guys, it's Kev.
What's up? This is Naz.
I am Tibby.
This is Del.
And y'all know who this is.
And we are
The Wayang Crew.
Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's me, Kev, your host on this weekly podcast where we talk about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei Darussalam. Up next, it's the first co-host of the show. It's Del.
Yes.
Yo.
I'm here.
You're here?
I am awake.
It's early.
It's, I think, our earliest recording.
I think this is a good departure from last week where it was the latest.
Yeah.
And then this week
We
it's
never hit the middle ground, do we?
No.
It's either, hey, the sun's not even up, or hey, the sun's nowhere to be seen.
We're just too busy these days because of all the shows coming up.
Look, such a nice seg into like Del's other life. Please, Del, what shows?
The stand-up, which is also the reason why we have been brought together by the power of Bruhehe. I mean, Bruhaha.
I thought I was going to say the power of Zainal.
Yeah, sure. I give it to Del.
We are going to have some shows in the next couple of weeks.
No,
be
next
busy.
week.
Next week.
Next week, and then the week after that is just a show for Del and I, and then a couple of weeks later is more, yeah.
That's right. We're getting somewhere with this stand-up thing. It
Hopefully.
kind of seems. Anyway, up next, it's the other co-host of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's Kai.
Sup, guys? How's it going?
Right.
Yeah, like Del said, I am hopefully awake. I know I'm lucid at the very least.
Well, you did manage to get to my house.
Yeah, I was up at... I left my bed at 9, Kev. That is the highest compliment I
Whoa.
can give you.
Nice. So you've been up for about maybe 40 minutes or so, about there. All right, anyway, let's get to the first bit of the show, which is the news. And the big news this week is that Disney has delayed Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.3.
Boo.
Yeah, this is because they have to regroup and sort of figure things out because of the firing of James Gunn, which we've talked about at length for the last couple of weeks on the show. And this has led Dave Bautista to sort of really call out on Disney, and he slammed Disney in a tweet by tweeting at Disney saying, "Hey, Disney, here's your guy. What an inspiration to humanity." Now, this is in reference to the alt-right guy who revealed those tweets about James Gunn and made them public again after many, many years. He's essentially saying, look, this guy is just as bad, if not even worse, than the guy you fired. So what are you going to do now? He's brutal at this point.
Yeah. I mean, he's really living up to the name Drax the Destroyer. But I understand. This was his very first break as an actor, you know?
And it was because of James Gunn.
Yeah.
And
it's very hard for, I'm guessing, a wrestler to make that transition successfully, because there's been a lot of other wrestlers making movies, but nobody has met the level of success like, for example, John Cena, The Rock, or right now Bautista. I understand, and I know a lot of people were like super upset or are still having sentiment towards Disney for holding off production, but I think it's the smartest thing they can do, rather than just rush into it, hire somebody who doesn't know the stuff and just want to keep the sets and stuff. So I think it's a smart thing to do.
I think Batista's rise to fame is fastest among all the wrestlers, would you say? Even
Yes.
from The Rock. Because The Rock took a long time.
The Rock took a long time.
long time.
We did do an episode covering The Rock's movies.
And then Cena has not reached the kind of level Batista has.
He's getting there.
Yes.
Slowly.
But Batista only had to do one movie and he's there.
And he's iconic now.
Yeah. And would you say that since Disney has announced the delay, does that mean they are not using the script from Gunn?
Well, it's already been confirmed that they're not going to use Gunn's script.
Oh, it has?
Right.
The news sort of came through that Disney is scrapping James Gunn's script for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which prompted Bautista last week to really lash out at Disney.
Yeah.
So does that mean Batista can get out of his contract?
We don't know. He said that he would ask for it. We'll just have to see what the next couple of weeks holds. Okay, maybe we need a new segment called Bautista Watch or something for all the news. Speaking of directors who could take over Guardians of the Galaxy, Taika Waititi, now the guy who directed Thor Ragnarok, he has recently met with Marvel about another film. No one knows what this film is, but this has sort of prompted fans to say, maybe he's the guy who's going to take over Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
I don't know. It's sort of in the same
They're in the same
lights,
vein.
like same vein, same light, sort of same color palettes, I guess, colorful.
Yeah, and same kind of tone, similar kind of humor.
But we won't be seeing Korg.
Why not?
Hey, no,
Korg
he will.
did not survive the snap.
Or did he not?
No, that's what I read.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, who confirmed that?
Taika Waititi said that.
Oh, but then did the Russos confirm that?
I don't know, but
So it's just-
the only person the Russos confirmed that survived was Valkyrie.
So that means Taika just thought, okay, I will assume he's dead.
Because no one told me whether he was alive? Are you serious?
Yeah, I think so. I'm imagining like that's what happened.
So he's gonna find a way to bring him back.
I think he should. Like for the next Thor movie at least.
Is there a next Thor movie?
After seeing him in Infinity War, I think there is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the assumption, but Marvel still has not come out to...
No, they have not. They have not released like the full slate for Phase 4.
True, because of the next chapter in Infinity War.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Speaking of Phase 4, Doctor Strange 2, which is a movie that we've talked about, I think, a couple of weeks ago, that it was sort of confirmed that there is going to be a sequel to Benedict Cumberbatch's take as Master of the Mystical Arts. Now, this movie, Doctor Strange 2, could begin filming in spring of next year.
Is it the same director? Do we know anything?
We don't know anything about it at the moment. It's just that Kevin Feige recently confirmed that there will be a sequel, and a report surfaced over this weekend pointing to a Phase 4 film going in front of the cameras by next spring.
Okay. Well, I do hope they, because the thing about Doctor Strange is I wasn't a huge fan of the first film. Like, I thought it was okay. But I loved the way he was written in Infinity War. And I like to see that version of Doctor Strange.
That version? Isn't it the same?
Yeah, but he's more come into his role as a Sorcerer Supreme in this one.
He got more power.
Yeah, he more
Yeah, because the first one has to establish who he is and what his powers are.
I
And he's
know.
learning about his powers.
I know that.
So yeah. This is like it could be like Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we need. We
Yeah.
need every movie to have the Winter Soldier script.
Not Thor:
well-
The Dark World.
Well,
Sure, yeah.
there was also this thing which I read, which is not news, it's just a theory, because some photos surfaced of, I think it was the production days of Avengers Infinity War, and there was a shot of RDJ as Tony Stark on Ebony Maw's ship, and he was wearing the cloak.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
There's a photo.
RDJ with the cloak of invisibility?
Yeah.
Wait, no.
The cloak
levitation.
The cloak of levitation.
Yeah, that's Harry Potter.
Dell's crossing like
franchises right now at
but yeah,
will.
I will show you guys the article or the video that I saw, which did feature that actual shot. It was a
Very
leaked shot.
interesting. Yeah.
And apparently in the comics there was an alternate timeline where Tony Stark did become the Sorcerer Supreme.
So
Possible,
Dr.
yeah.
Iron or Iron Strange?
Iron Strange.
Iron Strange. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Iron Strange.
Iron Strange. And let's move it on to the Star Wars universe. Now, Kelly Marie Tran, which is someone who we've talked about a couple of months ago, she left social media, deleted all Instagram posts, left Twitter because of all the online harassments that she had been getting from all these people regarding her role in Star Wars as Rose. She has come back and she has broken her silence by publishing an essay in the New York Times.
Oh, when you say come back, I thought she turned on all her social media again.
No, she has addressed it.
Right.
Yeah.
What did she say?
She said, their words seem to confirm what growing up as a woman and a person of color already taught me, that I belonged in margins and spaces, valid only as a minor character in their lives and stories.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very personal.
She had some really harsh words thrown at her.
Yeah. I think people should just relax and just not attack actors for choices that are beyond their control. I've said it tons of times, she never had an input in the story or her character.
At the end of the day, she's reading a script which is written for her.
Yeah, she's an actress and she did her job, and for her to be getting flack for that seems very unfair.
And I have to say, she did a good job.
Given the material?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, more Star Wars news. We got some leaks yesterday.
From episode 9.
From episode 9,
Really?
the
Yes.
first leaked
What?
shots of productions from
Have
episode
made
9.
its way to the interwebs.
Yeah, all we see is a hillside, and you see John Boyega, you see Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac sort of wearing like a very Indiana Jones type like costume. He has like leather and a sling and this and that. John Boyega's hair is longer.
Yes.
And we see what could be some rebels and 2 horses at the top of the hill with sort of CG marking tapes around the head. They're probably going to replace that.
And there's Chewbacca.
Yeah, there's Chewbacca, although there were only 2 shots of him. He was standing up next to a horse. And the next shot we see is the actor because he had the head off.
Yes.
And he was under an umbrella. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are going back to Canto Bight with all the dead horses.
I don't know. No. These are not those horses. These are smaller.
Yeah, these are human horses.
Human horses, but I think the heads will be sort of modified post-production. It doesn't show much.
No, it doesn't show much.
There was also another shot where you saw a little bit of the Millennium Falcon in the forest.
Yes.
And this has led some online speculators to say that, this could be like Yavin 5, or this could be Endor, one of them.
It's going to be a new planet.
New planet?
Yeah.
They're not going to revisit the old?
Not at this point.
I don't think they'll go back to Endor. I don't think they'll bring back the Ewoks.
Yeah. Maybe the Ewoks have evolved into humans, as we see in the picture.
What?
What?
Anything's possible with science fiction, Del.
This is what you get when you get Kai up for an early recording.
Yeah, you don't get full Kai. you get half a Kai.
You get half a Kai. Let's talk about Ryan Reynolds. And he says he has a new plan to get Hugh Jackman in a Deadpool movie.
Sure.
And apparently he says the best way is to recruit him for X-Force.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. It'll end up with him being in old stock footage of Wolverine movies.
Just like how we saw.
Yeah.
If it boils down to it, would you like to see Hugh Jackman reprise his role as Wolverine in a Deadpool movie?
Not in a Deadpool movie, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in some sort of a multiverse spanning X-Men movie as they close off the gap to go to Disney. Like, there's different versions of those characters, but Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is the only constant. And then, boom, close off the Fox version of the stories and go to Disney. Like a final farewell, I wouldn't mind seeing
I don't think we have time for that. X-Force is the next movie, so it has to be X-Force.
I mean, they shot Venom early this year and it's coming out in a month and a half, so
yeah, but then possible. The deal will go through by next year, I would assume.
But I wouldn't think a Deadpool movie is the right place to see him.
But where else though?
An X-Men movie where he first started.
No, but then the X-Men franchise, I mean X-Men 4 is already ready.
Is that what we're calling it?
No, it's Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't have any space for him in there. So there's no more X-Men 5.
But he could do a cameo, right? Like as he always done.
Could be. But then what we want to see is Deadpool and Wolverine together.
What Del wants to see is Wolverine.
Well, don't you?
Not really. I didn't love Deadpool 2. I'm a bit, I've seen it again recently.
I'm
so underwhelmed. I'm like,
but then it's not about Deadpool 2. It's about Deadpool. It's about Ryan Reynolds' bromance with Hugh Jackman.
Maybe if you're looking at it outside of the context of the movie, as in their conversations on Twitter, the videos they make together and whatnot, sure, I would like to see it.
Okay.
All right. Danny Boyle, who was announced as the director for the upcoming Bond film, Bond 25, he has left the project citing creative differences.
I am surprised, but I'm not surprised. When they first announced him, I was like, I don't think he's a good fit.
Okay.
Because it's just not his style. Mm-hmm. And now that he's left, I'm like, yeah, he wasn't a good fit. But at the same time, I'm like, wow, this is the first time a Bond director has walked away.
That's true.
So I was like, whoa.
Because over the decades, Bond has been sort of a career-defining thing.
Yes.
Like you direct a Bond film, and then you're known as like, oh, he can do action, and he can do a franchise.
Yeah.
But I think, you're right. He's the first director to walk away from the role.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, okay.
But looking at his previous films, you're right. They don't fit.
Like, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. You're like, whoa, what? Like, how can the powers that be not expect a creative difference with them?
Speaking of not fitting, or who the studio is looking at next is Edgar Wright, whose style does not fit as well.
No.
So, where is this Bond 25 going?
Apparently, it's supposed to herald a new form of James Bond stories to... It's like a soft reboot.
Yeah, but then they should not have Daniel Craig doing it.
And on that line, Idris Elba doesn't want to play Bond.
It's not that he doesn't want to play Bond. He was asked, which is the next bit of news. Thanks for bringing that in. He has definitively weighed in on whether or not he'll play the next Bond, right? So the last couple of weeks, there were some rumors because some people say, oh, he is going to be the next Bond. And then he sort of teased on Twitter to say, Idris Elba. And then he took it down and said something like, don't believe the hype. Now he was asked for an event, I think, at a red carpet. And he was asked, are you the next James Bond? And there's a video which I watched, and he said one word. He said no, but he also looked very annoyed saying no. Maybe he was passed over?
Oh, that's a shame. I'm calling it now. Tom Cruise is James Bond.
What?
I don't know, man. He can play any role.
I don't see him with a British accent.
He doesn't need to. Rewrite the role. Make him American.
What?
Then it's Mission Impossible again.
Yeah. It's not James Bond. It's more like Jimmy Bond.
Hunt. Ethan Hunt.
No, I don't see it.
I'm messing with you guys.
Ben Affleck, who is someone who we've talked about over the last couple of weeks because he's either Batman or he isn't Batman.
That's the only two roles he has. Either you're Batman or you're not Batman. Which one?
Here's some sad news regarding him. He has entered rehab for alcohol addiction.
Oh.
Maybe this is hitting him more than we thought.
Ben struggled with this in the past.
Back in the early 2000s, yeah.
So I don't know. I just wish him all the best.
I wish him all the best, and I wish he pulls out of this and, does continue to be Batman, which I've expressed on this podcast over and over. I think he's a good Batman, but maybe the pressures of holding that role maybe are affecting him in some ways that we don't know.
Yeah, it could be a bunch of stuff affecting him, so I just wish him all the best, and if he needs to take time away from film in general to focus on his health, by all means.
By all means, do it, right? All right. Sticking with DC, Hans Zimmer, who scored the original Dark Knight trilogy.
Yes.
Yes, and he also did score Batman vs. Superman, The Dawn of Justice.
And Man of Steel, yeah.
And Man of Steel. Although after Batman vs. Superman, he sort of declared, I'm done with superhero movies.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yep. He's going to score Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
Liars.
Nice. But he's not wrong. It's not a superhero movie. It's a modern day Cold War espionage film featuring a Greek goddess.
So they say.
So,
And the source material is...
funny books.
Funny books. Anyone excited for the Predator movie that's coming out?
No.
No? Really?
Not there yet.
My filter's off today. I'm super brutally honest.
Not there yet. Dell actually had this as one of his most anticipated because it's
Shane Black.
directed by
Shane
Shane
Black.
Black, who's one of Dell's favorite directors. Shane Black says that this next Predator movie is the scariest film in the franchise.
If I was making a Predator movie, I would say the exact same thing. When Ridley Scott was making Alien Covenant, he said this is the best Alien movie he's made. Lest we forget.
Yes, you are right.
So I actually went on record and said this is gonna be my most anticipated movie of the year. I did
one
did
of
I?
the most. Yeah, you said it would be one of the most.
we've mentioned that.
Oh, so it wasn't on that list that we did.
It was
oh,
on
right,
the list,
right.
yeah.
Because
Dell's really scared of his credibility right now.
I had a
Dell's like,
cold
there
sweat.
it is. There goes my reputation.
Yeah, from the trailers, it doesn't look that great.
I have to say, even on paper, in terms of the synopsis, I wasn't too impressed.
I was only excited for Shane Black.
I love the Predator. They're my favorite monsters, screen monsters, but I'm not sure how I feel about this. Again, I honestly hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, I wish I'm wrong because I want a good Predator movie.
Yeah, we both want to see a good Predator movie. We all want to see a good Predator movie. It's just that we don't know whether this will be it.
Yes.
All right. Here's more nostalgia from the 80s. Top Gun.
Maverick,
which is the sequel to the first Top Gun movie.
That's
starring...
not the official title.
It is. It's literally called Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not confirmed. They took it down. They unconfirmed it.
When?
Months ago.
No. It's on Tom Cruise's Twitter. He tagged them.
Top Gun Maverick.
He only hashtag Maverick?
No, it's produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, and the official title is Top Gun Maverick, and it's set to open on July 12th, 2019.
Okay, it's not what I read, but okay, let's go
Anyway,
with that first.
the news on this is that we are getting Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise, obviously, and we have a new character who will be playing Goose's son.
Miles Teller, right?
Yeah. They have just recruited two actors, Jon Hamm and Ed Harris,
Nice.
to be in Top Gun Maverick.
Nice.
Jon Hamm will be a little bit of a comic relief, and
Jon Hamm as a
Jon
comic
Hamm?
relief?
Actually, he
Why
could.
not?
He could.
he's always the comic relief.
Like a very deadpan serious, but it plays off as
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
And Ed Harris will be the
serious role.
yeah.
He's gonna be
Straight shooter.
like a sergeant.
Yeah.
Ed Harris will be like a sergeant or a general.
Crazy Rich Asians, which is the movie we're talking about this week, it has already gotten a sequel.
Yeah, I
Even
heard.
though it has just been released, it's been out for about a week, and it had a very impressive weekend in the US, grossing in over $45 million on a $30 million budget.
Nice.
Okay.
So they've already made their money back domestically in the
Yeah.
first weekend, and it's opening up in international markets, like Brunei and
This weekend,
and most
right?
of Asia.
What are they calling the sequel?
It's unclear what they will call the sequel, although
Crazier, Richer Asians.
there's a series of books where
Yeah, it's a trilogy.
these stories are based on, and the 3 books have already been written and they did really well. So they're not sure if the second movie will follow the title of the second book, which is Crazy Rich Girlfriend.
No, China Rich Girlfriend.
That's right, China Rich Girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think Chow Yun-fat will be the next one to add into the cast.
He will play the girlfriend?
Chow Yun-fat, the girlfriend?
No, because the book is called China Rich Girlfriend.
No, he'll play the father of somebody.
He'll play some tycoon.
Yeah,
Right, maybe.
it's Chow Yun-fat.
He'll do his God of Gamblers character.
Oh, they should hire John Woo to direct it if that's the case.
Oh no.
Why?
I don't know, I just felt like throwing shade at
No,
the 90s.
just get the Ang Lee.
Ang Lee.
Yeah.
He's not a comedic.
No.
It's not a
Well, if you watch that
comedy.
Eric Bana Hulk movie, oh!
I like that movie.
Says so much about you, Del.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next bit.
Are we rehearsing for our next stand-up show? I feel like we are.
I think it seems like we are.
Yeah.
We talked a bit about the Dora Explorer movie over the last two shows. First of which was that it was starting production. Last week, it was revealed by Michael Bay's production company that he's not involved with this
No,
project.
he's not. How could you
Yeah.
think that?
Yeah. This project, the Dora the Explorer live-action movie, has signed on Michael Pena as Dora's father.
Yeah, that's so good. I read that. That is so good.
Uh-huh. And another casting news is that they hired Eva Longoria
As the mother?
as the mother.
Yeah, I see it.
In what world
Does
does
Michael
Michael Pena's character marry Eva Longoria's character?
I got an answer for you. In a world where a little girl talks to a monkey.
And where the girl has a talking backpack.
Yeah.
Really?
So in that world,
Wow.
Michael Pena marries Eva Longoria.
Oh wow. Okay, now it's clicking in. It's making sense. Would you still watch this movie?
Absolutely
Of course
not.
not.
Because I would.
For Eva Longoria, sure.
No, I mean just to see how bad this could be.
I don't know. There are just some things out there that I cannot, in good conscience, imagine walking up to a movie counter, going, 1 ticket for this movie, please, and taking out my hard-earned money, which I didn't even earn that hard, by the way, and giving it to the counter and keeping it as evidence. You know, like Pikachu. I'm not gonna watch that.
That would be kind of an embarrassing thing to do as well. To walk up to one of our local cinema ticket
And be
booths
like,
and go,
you know, Dora the
"Hi,
Explorer, please."
can I see the seating for Dora the Explorer?"
Yeah, no, I can't. There's a bunch of movies I could never imagine doing that for. And the Emoji Movie was one of them. Pikachu is one of them. This is one of them.
If I were to watch this, I think I would sit right in the front so that no one would see me.
So you can
And when the
closest to the exit.
Yeah.
And but then you're so tall, people are like, hey, that's Kevin Chong.
All right, so that's the news this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. If you want to get in touch with us here on the show, you can do so via our links down below, so do check those out. Now let's move on to our review this week of Crazy Rich Asians.
I did not watch the film.
Kai did not watch this film,
Yes.
so Kai will act as our control.
Take it away, boys.
And at the end of this review, we will ask Kai whether or not he would like to watch it.
I will give you my answer right now if you want, but sure, give you guys a chance of trying to change my mind.
It's the Pikachu Dora Explorer case where you are not gonna buy the ticket.
No, see, that implies you're gonna buy me the ticket.
Wait, what?
I'm not gonna buy a ticket. Somebody will.
I'm not buying a ticket for you.
Ah, well, I guess my answer stays. But no, I will genuinely like to hear the review.
All right, Del?
So it's about a crazy rich Asian who lives in New York, falls in love with a Chinese girl, and an American Chinese, and gets an invitation to a wedding of his best friend, and decides to bring home the girlfriend to meet the parents.
In Singapore.
In the family, yes, in Singapore.
Very close to home.
It's okay, so I never wanted to watch this movie after watching the trailer because I thought
so pained. It's like, look what you made me do.
Because this would be the third thing that he had to sort of regret. Like, oh,
I did. Yeah, well, okay. I didn't regret. It was a very well done, well shot movie, and with a Hollywood-backed budget, Singapore never looked this good on a movie screen. There is a good story behind everything. This is easily John M. Chu's best movie to date, but that's not saying much.
Oof.
It's still not like a fantastic movie because...
That burn was so Fast and Furious.
But he didn't do Fast and Furious.
Did he not?
No, it was another...
Oh no, that's Justin Lin.
Justin Lin,
My
yes.
bad.
although it's nicely shot, but halfway through the movie, I have no idea where this movie is going, where the story is going, what kind of direction it's going to take. And it kind of dragged on a little bit, and I thought, yeah, it's still Jon Hamm Chew. But I did enjoy Michelle Yeoh's performance, Constance Wu's performance. Ronnie Chang was a standout, as well as Awkwafina, surprisingly.
Yeah, and we have a whole other host of Asian comedians. In this movie.
Jin Yang was in this movie. Jin Yang from Silicon Valley.
Yeah, and
he's quite funny.
Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong was a very bad miscast. I thought. He's so out of place.
He played Awkwafina's father.
Yeah, who's supposed to be a Singaporean but studied in the US.
In the US as well.
Yeah, he's not selling that character.
Yeah, okay. Like you, I was a bit hesitant because initially before watching the movie, I did catch some reviews and they were all done by Americans, like these reviews, and they were praising this movie and how good it was, and it means so much for an all Asian cast to have a movie like this, to have representation in Hollywood and this and that. And I thought it was sort of like, you're saying this because you have to say it.
Yeah.
You can't say that it's,
to be politically correct.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. But when I saw it, I was very delightfully surprised. And I really liked the effort that they put in to really anchor the movie to Asia.
Yeah.
Like there were things in that movie that made me smile, and there were very little tiny things. Like when they included Hokkien.
Right. As well as Malay.
Yeah. Hokkien, for our listeners, is a Chinese dialect, which is spoken primarily in this part of Southeast Asia, not so much in the US or in Europe. They also had some Malaysian Malay in there.
Yeah. Because Singapore has Chinese, Malay,
English.
Indians. Yeah. It's a very multicultural country, and it made sense for them to include all these when they are set in Singapore. It's also fun, but also a little crazy to see how rich and to what lengths they would go to throw parties.
Yeah.
Watching that, I'm like thinking this is so out of
reality.
Yeah. I don't think it happens in this part of the world, but I'm not that rich. I can't attest to whether or not this happens. I don't know anyone that rich, so maybe it does. But the part where the house sits inside a jungle in Singapore, I'm thinking there's no jungle in Singapore.
There is.
Is there?
No, there is.
There is?
There are houses like that in Singapore.
Like surrounded by trees.
That are very unassuming. You wouldn't even know there was a house in there.
Okay.
I've seen one, and I was very surprised. I was like,
and that's the one they use.
I was like, this house is this close to Orchard Road?
Really?
And no one knows it's there.
Okay.
And it was a pleasant thing to see somewhere that we've been multiple times, Singapore, also being represented that way on the big screen in a Western movie of all things. I mean, they even got the cars right. They were all right-hand drive. You didn't see any of those, it's a stand-in and it's just a car that's in a studio. No, they actually put the effort in. And going back to what I said about the little things, Hokkien is even spoken at one point in the movie by Michelle Yeoh, who growing up would have spoken Hokkien.
Yeah.
Because she's of Malaysian descent.
Yeah. She would have, if it wasn't a dialect that she uses normally, but it would have been something that she would have come across.
Yeah.
You said the little things. I have a very major complaint about the little things to do with the soundtrack. All the songs that they play in this movie are Chinese songs, and they are horrible. It's like you want to represent the best of Asia, and this is what you came up with. And not only that, there were two songs that were big hits written in English originally. One of it was Coldplay's
Yellow.
Yeah. And then to have it not translated, but to be sung in Chinese, why would you use a Western song and then not use an original Eastern song? So I am having this big conflict that when you want to represent Asia and all that, and then you go and do this. And even the best song, right? All these songs are bad. The one song that was good was the one in the wedding when the bride was walking in.
Oh, yes.
So it was an English song, but it was sung by an American Asian.
Yep.
Kina Grannis, a YouTube sensation. Why would you bring in an American when you can very easily highlight somebody from Singapore?
Yes. That is actually true.
Yeah, because for that song, anyone could have sung that, like in that cover, to give the same effect. That's the biggest disappointment I have. But this, I don't factor it into my rating for the movie. The whole movie experience, the ending was really nice. There was a good message behind it. It was super well acted by both Constance and Michelle Yeoh. Everything came together in the end, but it's just the journey going through all the Gemma Chan,
yeah,
her character,
who
and
plays Astrid, who's a cousin of the lead character,
Right.
who we have not mentioned at all. Nick Young, played by a Malaysian Sarawakian, Henry Golding.
sorry lah, not worth mentioning lah. He's not.
This is his breakout gig in Hollywood. Previously, he was just a TV presenter, and he told the story, I think, on
Jimmy Fallon.
saying that, he got a phone call from a casting guy saying that he has to be in this movie, and they flew him out there and they did a test, and after a couple of weeks, they're like, okay, you're the guy, because we need a guy who looks like you and who is from that area, which is Sarawak, KL,
Which is
Singapore.
Ironic again because the author looks nothing like this guy.
Yeah, that's true. The author, of course, is a Singaporean-born American.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've covered the movie pretty much. I was expecting more views into that world of the super excess and super rich, but we didn't see very much of it.
I thought we saw a lot of it though. Like
We saw-
even the wedding is extravagant. The water coming in, like
That was-
irrigating the grass beside it.
The
That is
paddy
crazy.
field. Anyway,
None of this sounds like it's based in any reality.
No,
no, it's not.
That's what I say. But
it's so-
then again, I don't have that rich of friends.
No, but I don't know if I know anybody that rich, but I have aspirations for wealth, and I see what
Sure.
rich people do. None of this sounds like it.
None of this sounds like you would do even if you have that kind of money.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's super extravagant.
It's very fantasized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost a fetishistic view of wealth in a way. Like, oh, if you were that rich, this is exactly what you would do. But I don't know.
But that's the backdrop of the movie. The real movie is the story that Rachel has to go through, and she's coming to meet the boyfriend's parents. And
Yep. But then again, that's where the real meat of the story is, and it's not focused enough.
Yeah.
And we instead went into like the cousin, Gemma Chan, and the husband's side story.
Yeah, side story.
Which was boring and predictable and unnecessary.
There was one scene that got me cracking up in the cinema, and it was the first and only scene where we saw servants and maids
Right.
in this movie. And it was when Gemma Chan's character Astrid comes home after a shopping spree, and she walks in the door and she looks at the maid and she goes, "Is he home?"
Yeah.
referring to her husband. And there's a team of like 4 Filipino maids and like, "No, ma'am, sir have not come back yet." I don't know why, it just got me laughing, and I was like, okay.
But that
For the record, Kev is half Filipino.
yeah.
So he can say that. If
But that,
anybody wants to accuse him of anything.
That whole subplot again, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem real, and it's just I don't know why it's in this movie.
That subplot, the subplot where they're having marital problems because the husband feels that he's inferior to her in
Correct.
terms of his self-worth and wealth.
because she's so super rich.
She's so super rich, and he's
he
just
feels,
he was a captain in the army, and they got married, and he's trying to do his own thing, which is a startup and whatnot.
so she goes out shopping for herself, buying expensive stuff, and when she comes home, she has to hide all these things from her husband so that he doesn't see them.
So that he doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
She could just buy him stuff too.
She did.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, and he said, thanks.
In essence, he needs to feel like a man, and she is not helping. That's what his character is.
He has the traits of, I think, a very typical Caucasian white guy.
Right.
Don't make me feel less of a man than I already do.
And
It's more
because there's nothing wrong with women leading the household, people. We need to get rid of our old ideas of patriarchy.
it is 2018. So.
Yeah, we need to destroy concepts of masculinity, change it.
All right, so Del, what would be your rating for Crazy Rich Asians out of 10?
6.5 teardrop earrings from Myanmar.
Wow.
Wow.
6.5. They did cost 1.2 million each. Anyway,
Nobody wears stuff like that.
And that's at cost.
at cost. That's right.
1.2 million.
I would give this movie a slightly higher, 7.5 Lamborghinis out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, even though I was not expecting to, because I thought this was all just a Hollywood propaganda hoax film.
Yeah, because in the beginning I was calling this the 50 Shades of Asian because of the quality that it's not going to hit. Yeah.
And this is a big breakout role for someone who probably grew up very close to where we are, which is down in Sarawak. Kuching boy, Henry Golding. We wish him, all the best. He is set to star in maybe 2 more movies. to complete this trilogy.
Really? It's gonna be a trilogy.
Maybe, there are 3 books.
I mean,
Del.
there's gonna be a Venom trilogy.
Okay. I didn't know there were 3 books.
And also, as stand-up comedians, we are happy to see that someone like Ronnie Chang
And Jin Yang.
and Jin Yang, who are, from this part of the world and did very well internationally as stand-up comedians, end up getting roles in movies that are now being very, very internationally praised.
Right.
I absolutely know who they are.
We'll show you some YouTube videos
Yeah, sure.
after this.
I absolutely know who
But
they are.
only because you don't watch Silicon Valley and you don't watch any stand-up comedian perform.
Well, you make it
Except-
sound like I have a very sad life, Dal.
But you don't watch animated movies as well. So where is this leading you?
I don't know.
All right, so the question for this review is, Kai, based on what we have said over the last maybe 15 minutes or so, would
Right.
you still watch this movie, Crazy Rich Asians?
It feels like a Singaporean version of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I've never seen Keeping Up.
I have a rough concept based on what I've heard.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's something I would watch in the cinema. Maybe no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if it was playing on TV, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind going through it. It's just so the concept of going to the cinema is watching a movie that you want to consciously pay for and watch.
Yep.
And this doesn't feel like it.
Okay, I mean, that's a fair point. All right, so that's our review of Crazy Rich Asians. It's now showing in local cinemas here in Brunei, so do head on over and catch it because it is a good watch based on what me and Del have said, although we were not able to convince Kai to do so. Which brings us to our next bit of the show, which is...
Oi, apa liat-liat? Apa liat-liat? Hoi, 看什么看? Apa liat-liat?
Apa liat-liat?
你看什么看？
Apa liat-liat? See what see? 小了.
Yep, that's right, it's called Apa Liat Liat, and it's what else we've been watching besides Crazy Rich Asians. Let's start off with Del. Del, what
I
have you been
saw
watching?
Mile 22, which is also playing at local cinemas at the moment. And
Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg and Lauren Cohen.
Yeah.
And unfortunately Ronda Rousey. But spectacularly Iko Uwais. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name.
Iko Uwais.
Uwais. This movie is directed by Peter Berg, another collaboration with Mark Wahlberg.
They're going for an anthology now.
Yeah.
They've done 4 movies.
Yeah. So I think it's set in Indonesia. I don't know if the city is made up, but they are trying to get him out of Indonesia because he has some information that is vital to the survival of the world. And to simply put it, it's a adrenaline-filled movie from beginning to end, and it's just action throughout. And Iko Uwais is kicking a lot of behinds again. Unfortunately, Peter Berg doesn't really know how to do proper combat, hand-to-hand combat action.
Like the martial arts stuff.
Yeah. So it's a lot of quick cuts, quick edits put together, and it's shaky, but it does get the message across. So as an action movie, it's really well done, and the ending is not what you would expect.
Okay. Anything else besides Mile 22?
I've seen a lot of movies actually. I watched Tusk, the Kevin Smith movie.
Alright, it's part of the trilogy, isn't it?
Is it?
Because it's Tusk and Yoga Hosers and another one.
Which is not out yet.
Yeah. It's
Okay,
not out yet.
so it's a very difficult movie to watch. One, because it's very, how do you say, it's turning a person into a walrus.
What?
It's very
Okay.
disturbing, but also because the second half was not good. It's
was
not
just-
good at all. Especially when Johnny Depp showed up
Johnny Depp?
as a French private investigator. So he's putting on
The accent?
the accent,
Oh,
prosthetics, maybe some...
That's because his daughter was in the film too, right?
Yeah.
Lily Rose Depp, yeah.
because she used the yoga. She's also in Yoga Hoses.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good watch. So don't bother. I think
With
with Tusk.
Tusk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Kai. Kai, apa liat-liat? Since you didn't
I-
watch Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, how am I blanking on this? I just loaded in the DVD the other day. What did I watch?
Wow.
Wow.
It is early.
It's still in my PlayStation. I just watched it the other day.
Okay,
Oh, the 90s Ninja Turtle trilogy.
that's good.
Trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it on Blu-ray. And
There's a trilogy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles 1, 2, and 3. And there's actually a 4th one, which was a cartoon.
What is 3?
They went back in time.
Japan! Samurai!
No.
Oh.
It was
No, that's number 2.
right. Oh,
Jungle Boy is number 3?
Jungle Boy?
That's the name of the song.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. But yeah, Samurai, yeah.
it was so bad that I kind of remember it now.
It
They
wasn't
they
bad.
go back to feudal Japan.
Yes, it was not good.
But it
Was it
wasn't
good?
terrible.
I liked it.
Yeah.
So it's better than Crazy Rich Asian?
No.
What does that have to do with anything? These are turtles who are teenagers.
I'm just putting a
ninjas.
perspective into it.
Yeah, I just watched that
Okay.
trilogy.
I have to concede. Yeah, no.
I watched that trilogy. I have to say the second one is the best.
Really?
Yes, the ooze.
With Vanilla Ice?
But the ooze.
I thought Vanilla Ice was the first one.
Let's
Oh.
be real.
With Ninja.
Yeah, go
rap,
ninja, go ninja, go.
Yeah, I enjoyed that
They're
song.
all three decent movies.
Yeah, they're
You know?
they're
Really?
okay.
They're
okay.
not the greatest movies
When
that
you
could have
say
been made.
decent and when you say okay, I don't think this matches up, you know.
To each his own.
Yeah, it reminds me of being a kid, and I was like, yeah, sure.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah,
Yeah, because when he said
because I'm
decent,
dumpster diving for films at this point.
when he said this decent, he looked like it's an 8 out of 10. And when you say okay, it's like 6 out of
No,
10.
decent
Okay,
for me is like
okay.
a 6 to 7.
Let's put
Okay.
let's put it this way: the Ninja Turtles trilogy, to me, is still better than the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Kev.
Yeah.
Like 10
Right.
minutes of Ninja Turtles 3 is better than the last two Ninja Turtles films.
Nah, Fast and Furious film.
The new Ninja Turtles films.
Yeah.
Oh, the last,
Yeah,
these
the
two.
last
Right,
two.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh, anything's better than that.
Not Fast and Furious, I hope.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do a discussion.
We should.
Fast and Furious or the new Ninja Turtles movies?
I see you're awake now.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles got him fired up.
Yeah, that's all I've watched recently.
Go
Yeah.
Cairo, go Cairo, go.
I've not seen anything else.
All right, on to me for Upper Liat Liat. What else I've been watching? I had a busy week this week. We had a public holiday
did,
midweek, and I caught up on like a lot of movies. I watched Ocean's 8, which is something I missed out.
All right, what did you think?
I thought it was all right. I'll watch another one.
Yeah.
I'll watch an Ocean's 9, for sure. They are gonna have to do more cameos.
Yeah, so I think they're doing 8, 9, and 10, and then that leaves it at that, and 11, 12, and
12
13.
to 13, yeah. I also watched Hereditary, which is a movie that you caught in KL while you were there.
Yep.
And as you said, this movie gets weird, like as the movie progresses. And I have to say that at the end of it, there was no payoff for the movie. It just sort of fell flat, and that was it.
Unfortunately.
It really does look like they were setting up for a sequel, though, for this movie, Hereditary. But I do have to give props and agree with you to say that the acting was good in this movie.
I don't think they're doing a sequel, are they? A24 seldom does sequels.
But-
I've
but-
never seen...
It's like they set up for a sequel. Like
Okay.
the ending just dropped off where it did, and it's like, okay, so we're leaving it open for another one,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I also caught another movie called In Darkness.
Oh,
Oh, that's an old one.
Yeah.
Like a few...
Like,
Is that
I think early this year.
Michael Douglas.
No,
No.
No.
Oh, early this year.
early this year.
Huh.
I can't remember her name now, but something Turner.
Elizabeth
No,
Turner?
Game of Thrones girl,
Oh, Sophie Turner.
Sophie Turner.
Oh.
She plays what seems to be a blind lady, and her neighbor gets killed.
Right.
And then she goes down this whole rabbit hole because she's getting interrogated by the police, and her neighbor had ties to some war criminal in this, and then it just gets more and more and more and more deeper as we progress in the story. But very watchable.
Okay.
It was okay. It was an okay movie. It wasn't great. The twist at the end was I would have to say a standout.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, that's what we, the Wayang Crew, have been watching on Upper Liat Liat. Let us know what you've been watching, and yeah, maybe we'll have a discussion on that. So that's the show.
Yay!
We did
Another one in the bag.
another one in the bag.
I'm awake now.
You're awake now by the end of it. Thank you very much for that.
Because this is about the time I wake up.
It was Ninja Turtles that got you up.
Go Ninja.
Go Ninja Go. So yeah, that's the episode this week, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast. This is Kev signing off. Bye.